Hello everybody and welcome to my latest project, which was not planned.
I am, after my last, after I just loved doing the last treehouse project for the journal cover, I actually bought this at the same time, and I was going to wait until I'd done a little bit more on a whole bunch of other things that I'd already started, but I was too excited, and so I wanted to open the package. And I actually bought one of these. I bought two. I bought one for mum and one for myself. So I'm going to open mine. I thought I'd open it with you. That is the Ecru DMC pearl thread. This is the piece, and they're all different. So that's the piece of backing or lining in mine that I got. Mum got a more pinky color in hers. And this is the little vintage. That is so sweet. I wish you could see that side on the actual finished piece, and that's for the cord. Beautiful. So these are all Emma said from her personal stash of vintage fabrics. Really sweet. Beautiful. Lovely. I'm not a big red fan, so that, who knows, but sometimes you can never tell, and you shouldn't judge before something that feels like lawn liberty. Oh, that's awesome. Look at the orchids. Yeah, sometimes you can't tell on an unfinished work, you know, just what the end product's going to look like, even if something's just grinding on you. It's like that way with painting as well. It goes through this really ugly phase. Often you just got to push through. Oh, cute. So I don't know about that red piece. Who knows? I'll lay some things out and see. But I haven't done too much patchwork in my time to be experienced enough to know if that one piece, I love the thistle, that's gorgeous. To know if that piece would be a real standout problem for me if it's already pulled in. That's actually pink, which is really lovely. Grey. This one doesn't bring me a lot of joy. So I also wonder if there is any leeway. I mean, I've got lots of little vintage patches that I can pull out pieces of my own stash. Oh, that's lovely. But I wonder if there is any leeway. That's obviously come off the same bit between these. That's a bit of seersucker because it's got that bumpiness. Oh, that's the back, that's the front. To know, that's cute, but I might pull out that red one and just swap it out. Really pretty, really pretty. Interesting. Okay, so that is them. Then this button, it's really sweet, came with it, and that's the idea of what will go on the front. So this is the inside. So this will be a trifold clutch. That's the sizing. And then all of these pieces will go on the front. And then that will turn obviously in on itself. I had it the wrong way, like so. So that is the beginning. I am going to lay some pieces out now, see how I like the composition, and I believe you work so the instructions say from the outside in and just overlap as you go, so the end you'll finish at the very middle. I've not done Kawandi or this kind of, well, it's Canthus style, but Kawandi quilting, Canthus style stitching. So yeah, I haven't done that before. And oh, here we go, Boro, Kawandi, and Canthus styles. Yeah, okay, cool. All right, so leave it with me for a little bit, and just so you know, in case you actually want to purchase one of these yourselves, that's what the instructions look like. So they're really good. I will have a little bit of a play around on this and come back to you. Okay, bye. I have now glued my backing onto the piece of quilt light. It isn't feeling sturdy enough for me. I've made a few pouches now, and I know that isn't going to be enough for me. It's going to be way too floppy as a as a pouch, because really there's only going to be these little pieces on top as the third layer and then quilted through. So for me, it's not going to hold, the structure is not going to be anywhere near what I want it for, to carry like my car keys and phone and, you know, lipstick and all the rest. So I am going to, I've just got a piece of wadding from my stash, and I'm going to pop that in. So I'm going to make it another layer, and that'll be as thick, hopefully, as I want it to be. And I think that's going to give it a lot more structure, a lot more stability to be used, because I don't think it's going to be enough for what I want to use it for. So that is my little update for now. Hello again. Okay, so I have cut that extra piece. It is now Sunday morning. I started that Friday night. I worked all day on a quilt, a vintage blanket coat for a girlfriend yesterday. So I'll insert a little photo of that, but I got a fair ways on that, which was great. Now I've cut out that extra piece of wadding, and now I was going to do all this by hand. I started folding these the way the instructions said, and it absolutely drove me batty. So I just couldn't, the edges kept popping undone, and I know myself that I just was ready to throw it out. It may work really easily for other people. It just, for whatever reason, didn't for me. The folding of the edges and then having to get out the iron every single time was not going to work. It was just going to make it so much more difficult and not enjoyable. So I had my machine out yesterday already, doing the jacket coat. So I'm just going to machine piece this, and I've done a couple this morning, as you can see, just really easily on the machine with my little quilting 1/4 inch foot. So I'm just going to keep going with that and make these scraps into something this size. I don't actually think it's going to take that long. Look at that. That's already probably an 1/8, I would say. So that's exciting. I will, keep going with this. That's really enjoyable for me. The little, I love, my machine's got a stop start button. I don't even need a foot. And the automatic thread cutter, it's easy. So why wouldn't I? And then I will camphor stitch on top of the whole thing to make it, to still give it that hand stitched effect. Okie dokie. I am just loving how easily all these pieces go together on the machine and then just nest inside each other. So lovely. So it's coming along. The wind keeps blowing behind me, but almost pieced. Okay, I have one little bit to fill. So this is me not being very experienced in patchwork. I laid all of this out, and with all the seams, it's brought it right in. So I have to now find, which I've got stacks of this. There's no issue with finding fabric. It just wasn't in my layout idea that would all retract, I guess. So I'm really glad. Look, I haven't started my quilt. I'm really glad that I didn't start that quilt over there, because I need some practice on my technique before I start something major. But I've now sewed all of this into one piece. All my lovely seams. I'm kind of loving this OCD-ness of how neat. Is that neat? I don't know, it's neat to me, but I've never done it before. You guys would know, some of the quilters out there. So that's all now in one piece. I am now about to connect this and this. And then I now need to just find a couple or little pieces, one or a couple of little pieces that I'm happy with on the end. And now not loving that backing fabric. Anyway, it doesn't matter, does it? It's the inside. It does not matter. Also, you can't judge it when it's not finished. It's going to have all the cantha stitching on top and some embellishments, and it won't look exactly like this. So once it's done, anyway, so that is where I am up to. Okay, about to attach the last seam together. Very exciting. And it is now one piece, which is so exciting. So what I'm actually thinking, I just have that box of my threads there, and I saw that, and that is a Japanese Shishiko variegated thread in pinks. So I'm thinking that maybe that might be a nice thing to cant the stitch through the whole thing. I think the pinks will complement it nicely. So I'm gonna have a little go of that in the next few days. And I love the pieces. Some are mine from my stash, mostly from the kit. And then this is my favorite panel, and I wish that, look, that becomes the underneath, which is a real shame that you can't see that, but that's the kit. Isn't that lovely? Oh yeah, I wish that was on the inside, but anyway, I'm being too self-critical. I love these pieces together because this is my absolute favorite piece of the whole thing. So I just wish that was on show more, and I suppose I could do it this way, but I also do really love this panel as well. So I could have it that is the front, but it's too, yeah, anyway, that's my favorite piece, and then that's my least favorite, and that's on the outside. But anyway, you live and you learn, don't you? And it's not the end of the world. It's just me being completely really critical, and you know, it could be worse. So anyway, I'm going to go and have a play around with that for the next couple of days, see if I can do that cantha stitching at night, and I'll show you when I'm done. Okay, so I am back from a weekend in Tamworth for Matt's cousin's wedding, and I'll pop a couple of photos up to show you that. We had a great time. It was so hot, and it was a 7-hour drive from here to there, so I had technically 14 hours of stitching, but the roads aren't great, so I couldn't do it on all sorts of terrain. So that is what I've got done so far, what I was able to do in the car. And as you might not be able to see, so that I'm down to this little center rectangle there, so just that up through the middle. And I did, in the end, I did one row of the pearl ecru cotton, and I went, do you know what, Missy, just have some guts and go for it. So I changed and I've done the pink, which, yeah, I really like it. Look, it's fine. I really like it. It's come out really nicely. You know, it's pink all through it, so it'll be lovely. It will be lovely. I'm really excited about it. I'm really hoping to finish this soon. That'll take an hour max. But also I wanted to show you, there's all these doilies drying on the driveway. I found this at one of the op shops in Tamworth. It was $12, I think. Yeah, I mean, I think that's worth it. I'll reuse the frame for something else, but isn't that cross stitch just absolutely cute? Happiness is homemade. And as soon as I saw it, I went, cover of a needle book or something like that. So I just think that's so beautiful. I love that. And even though they're ducks, reminds me of my chickens. Also, I wanted to show you something that Kate in the Nest gave me last open at Green Door. She had a bag of these beautiful hexies. So I have already used one on a bag for a girlfriend that I have given, put her birthday present in, and it actually looks really beautiful, and I'm going to put a photo of that because I've posted it up and show you what I've done with one of those hexies, which I absolutely adore. So that is something going on, and I will come back to you when I have, look, close, when I've done a bit more of this. Okay, bye. I thought I'd also show you, because I just mentioned it, you may have seen on my Instagram account, I posted a photo of me finding all of these and more, because there's some more soaking in a op shop in Tamworth called, I've got a photo, so I'll put the photo up in the corner. I can't think of it, but it was in the industrial area and it was a huge warehouse, and these were all like 50 cents, $1. The biggest ones were $2. There was another place that I stopped in Murundi on the way to Tamworth, and that had an antique store, and the only reason why we stopped there was because it was called Fox's, and I found it on Google Maps as I was going through, and I was like, and one of my son's names is Fox, and so I thought we've got to just stop there and take a photo regardless. And I found some beautiful vintage pieces as well. That's where the colourful crochet, oops, that's my shadow, the colourful crochet came from. All the colourful ones came from there, and same thing, they were $1 a piece, because they were retiring, and I think they're just trying to sell everything they can. So yes, that is my haul from Tamworth. I might show you closer up in another video, but I wanted to show you. So it is super hot day today. I soaked them overnight in nappy sand, and now they're just drying. Actually, they'll probably be done now, so I'll bring them in, and I can show you a little bit closer up if you like. Hello, I'm back. I finished that stitching last night, and I love it. I love the look of it now. As it gets more and more progressed, I'm getting more and more happy with it. So, which is pretty much always the case, I think, for me. Never judge an unfinished work. So what I have done is I have now backed it onto, I originally was given this piece, I'll show you, this piece of fabric in the kit, and the more and more I thought about it, that I want to use that for something else, it just didn't feel right. It didn't feel vintage enough against it. What I have since found from an online seller is, which I received yesterday in the post, are some actual vintage cut-offs, and I'll link her Instagram. So, what's the daisies? What I have used, ta-da, is this piece of bark cloth, which I think is really beautiful, and it's just the tones are right, and I just love it. I think that it really pairs back nicely. So what I have done is put an extra piece of wadding in there. It wasn't thick enough for me. It was going to be too floppy. I can't show you because it's closed. And some double-sided seam, like iron-on bias, maybe? Iron-on, sorry, not bias, iron-on, I can't think of the word, but you know what I'm trying to say. Sticky stuff on both sides. So I have done that, and just sewed the inside seam and flipped it back around. So I am now just going to close that seam. So I've got nice, neat seams on all sides, which I will then do, and then I can then fold and stitch the sides down. So you may next see it when it's done. Hopefully that won't take too long. There's now the hand stitching component and the embellishing component, which I love. So I will be back to show you when I've got something else. Okay, just before I show you the finished piece, I wanted to let all the local people know about something. I missed this last weekend because we went to the wedding in Tamworth, but had I not gone to that wedding, I would have been at this. And I have seen, I saw a piece on I think it was Backroads episode once about the airing of the quilts, and I've always wanted to go. So that is what I'm doing in November next year, if anyone wants to join. So it's a beautiful town, probably an hour from Canberra. It's probably about 2 hours from where I live, maybe 3.5, 4 hours from Sydney. So I think that they display wonderful, they have a wonderful weekend of quilting and celebrating quilts. So I think that is something very special that I'm really looking forward to next year. What I wanted to show you, and I am losing the light, it's a Sunday afternoon, quite late. We've had storms roll in. We bought our Christmas tree yesterday and brought that home, so the room smells beautiful. And I've done a little bit of work and finished this morning. So I'm gonna have to maybe redo this. I'm not sure if maybe the light will be okay. But it is complete and I absolutely love it. I love the weight of it. I love the feel of it. I had that button, that green button that came in the kit, and I was just having a scrounge around through mine, and I thought, I think it needs just something a little bit extra, and I love it. So I've added a crochet doily at the last minute that I had in my stash, and I'm super happy with the results. And a snap, obviously, for closure, so that goes really easily. And there it is. And I have loved this project. And oh, yep, and I have just done a blanket stitch down the sides in the same cantha thread along that to close it up. So there it is, my treehouse vintage now the next thing I want to show you is the finds that I said I found in Tamworth, so I will show you those now. Okay, it's now Sunday night, and it's absolutely beautiful here. We've had 3 storms come through today, and the kids have just gone to bed, and I thought this is the only place I can really show you with the light. The pieces that I got from the op shops in Tamworth. Oh, actually, it hasn't gone to bed. Hang on one second. Apparently he needs to watch the Matildas. So that's that. Now these are the 2 op shops I stopped at, like a Vinnie's and a Salvo's store, and then I also stopped at Fox's at Marundi that I've talked about and put the photo up, and One of a Kind. So this is actually a really beautiful little apron, and it's just that I loved the fabric, so I'm going to take that apart and use this vintage fabric. I just thought it was so pretty. And it's a child's apron, but it has beautiful. I'll take that waistband off and use that as straps, I think, for a needle book. So I loved that. I think that was $5. I don't know the prices of these. They weren't, I'm not going to go through the individual prices, but everything was 50 cents, $1, $2. It was really inexpensive. I just loved that. I'll take those apart. So I'm just going to quickly go through them and show you. A lot of these I bought with the intention of using. This is, I think, could be my most favorite ever of any of the doilies that I have. That's a little, oh, sorry about that, that's bad. That little age spot won't come out. I've soaked everything here. I just thought that was a beautiful little yellow one. So sweet. Sorry, I have the intention with a lot of these, and I'll show you in one of my next videos. Love that. Of putting these on the backs of some of my vests and blanket coats, which I've already started to do. So some of these, the slightly larger ones, are with that in mind that I picked them up. I love that star type. This is really pretty, and I hadn't seen these colors before, and that really appealed to me. I thought it was so pretty. I love the crochet, how delicate this one is. So I've ironed all these. It just took me a while. That is also one of my absolute favorites because of the raised flowers. Oh, that's a little baby one. Gorgeous star. Beautiful, delicate, latte coloured. That little raised flower, gorgeous. Blue. I'm not normally a huge fan of different coloured crochet pieces, but I thought those were sweet. I got this because it's the most softest linen, and I actually really, really, really like the edging, and I can see something going in there in the middle on the back of a jacket. This really interesting star. Hadn't seen too many of those around before. That I love. I love them all, let's be honest. This one is so fine. I thought that was really beautiful, and I was thinking maybe I could embroider something into the back of that, but I just absolutely loved how delicate and fine the crochet work was. Another little baby one. This again, and this has a butterfly in the middle. I think a bit of the edge is damaged there, it doesn't matter. Again, how fine that crocheting is, or lace work, don't even know. Poppy, sweet. I got this because I loved the crochet on the edging. This is really pretty. Big pink, kind of mandala looking one. Oh, there's a secondary one of those somewhere. That's a twin set. Thought it was really, really, really sweet. Again, oh, that's a twin set of one of the ones I showed you earlier. Very sweet. I think I walked out having spent potentially $60 for everything that entire weekend that I found, which is crazy when you consider I've got probably 40 or 50 pieces. I love that. Really lovely, lovely lace. There's a couple that I've left in the laundry that I haven't ironed yet because they're just a bit bigger and they're double ups of things. Oh, this is also one of my favorites. When I saw this I remember I got at the Fox's Antique store. Oh, that is just so beautiful. And that'll definitely put on a garment. Oh, that's the same one I think as previous. Love that. It's slightly thicker, still beautiful. Again, not something I normally go for, but definitely something that'll come to me, I think, in some kind of a garment. This I picked up at the antique store, and it comes with, it was 4 really beautiful linen, very fine serviettes or napkins, and then there's a much larger tablecloth, probably 80 centimeters by 80 centimeters maybe, and I bought this set, I think it was $24 actually. Yeah, it was, for the 5 pieces, and that was in with the specific purpose in mind to use the tablecloth as the base piece for the shirt that I'm drafting the pattern for currently. So I have and I put that on my Instagram, I have a favorite kind of pajama top that is a shirt that I absolutely love, and I'm copied that pattern, and I'm going to make it in vintage textiles. That was really interesting. I personally haven't seen that many of these, so That, another one of those. This was really pretty. I loved it. I think folded in half. I haven't ironed that particularly well, so I need to go back and do that. And then we're on to the slightly larger tray cloths now. The roses were really quite beautiful. Oh, this is great. I forgot about this. That would have been great doing the Roxy's Journal of Stitchery for the spring bulbs, but this is actually a really long liner, but I'm going to make bags. So it goes all the way out there. And I can just see that beautiful folded coming down like that as a perfect pouch. So as soon as I saw that, I knew straight away in my head what that was going to be. And I can make 2 of those with that one piece. And I think that was $2. Just beautiful. This obviously is a machine made piece of cotton, but I thought it was really, really pretty. I think it'll make a really lovely sleeve or yoke of a shirt. So that's kind of my next iteration this summer of sewing work that I'm going to be working on. And I will post those things when they're done. At the moment I'm still kind of in an experimental stage. I've been changing around some patterns that I like and amending some patterns. I thought that was really interesting. This one, blue, I think that was $2, this big one. Yeah, as I said, these most beautiful couple that ran the Fox's Antique Centre, and they don't want to buy anything else. They just want to now sell everything, kind of all their inventory, and be able to travel. And it was a really, really fascinating store because it was set up half almost museum. There was an old dentistry set up in the back that had life-size skeletons sitting in a dentist's chair with pharmacy. I might see if I can, did I take photos of that bit? I don't know if that even come out. I think I might have, and I'm going to look and see now if I've got the photos. But it was the most unusual, cool place. An old chemist as well, that they had antique things from really old pharmacy paraphernalia. It was absolutely bizarre in the most incredible way. So there we go. Oh, there's a green one of those. Again, I just love some of the delicateness of these. I'm coming to the end now. That's pretty actually, isn't it? It's really nice, that one. And the light's getting dimmer and dimmer outside. That's really fine. It's beautiful. That's the match with those symbols as the as a much smaller one set, I should say. And the last 2. So this is obviously done by machine, but I thought it was still really pretty. And I love the fact that that will probably be a clutch. Perfect size to have a trifold like that. Really, really, really pretty. Might even try and dye it. And the last one, I thought this was really unusual. I haven't myself personally, but you may have. I have not seen a lot of ones like this. The texture is just amazing. So, and then with a little embroidery on top. So that really spoke to me, and a lot of the edges are damaged. I don't mind that. Again, I was thinking it in my head with the shape that it just naturally lends itself to being a really beautiful clutch. And eventually I'll release a capsule. What I used to do often with my millinery was I would work on a capsule collection, and then twice a year release those. So that's probably what I'll do. I used to also take a lot of commissions, obviously for bridal things, but for ready to wear, I would just make things that I loved, and then sold them in limited release a few times a year. And I think I'm leaning towards doing the same thing because it works really well, and it means that I can just do it when I can. I'm not under pressure to deliver a certain amount of items for any given time. So, and I noticed that's what a lot of small businesses do online now as well. And I think that that is just a beautiful way for makers to get their wares out there in their own, oh, my camera's going crazy, in their own time and space. So anyway, that's the ideas in my head. Isn't that beautiful? Oh, it's wigging out. Sorry about that. I'm getting a new phone in the next couple of days because this one is about 5 years old. So that is what I'm up to. It is a beautiful night. Oh, yeah, it's having issues. I'll show you. Oops, my very dirty window. That's what I'm seeing at the moment. Outside, it's a beautiful, beautiful summer's night after lots of storms today. And yeah, signing off for Sunday night. I hope wherever you are in the world that you're having a lovely creative Sunday as well. And take care, and I will see you next time. Bye.